All right, Kiwaloy to everybody, man. I'm doing this on two channels. So for those who don't know, I have multiple YouTube channels. I'm doing this on M.A.S. movies and shows, and I'm also doing this on Los Tres Chingones boxing. Why am I doing it on the boxing channel? Well, because it is a boxing movie, and Rocky. This is a spin-off of the Rocky movie. So thought I'd just go ahead and put it on the boxing channel as well. So if you're watching me on Los Tres Chingones Boxing, shouts to all the chingones and chingonas. And if you're not, you're watching it on M.A.S. movies and shows. As a matter of fact, I'll leave the link to both of those channels pinned in the comment section. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into this. Um, Man, Holmes, I've been waiting for this movie for a while, right? I like the Creed movies. Obviously, I'm a huge Rocky fan. I love the Rocky movies, except for Balboa. That movie is a terrible movie. That movie sucks. I do not like that movie. And for the ones that keep on hating on Rocky Part 5, shame on you because that is a badass movie. I love Rocky 5. Anyway, Holmes, here we go. Creed Part 3, the very first Creed that does not have Rocky in it. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and tell you guys this. I'm not going to spoil too much for you guys. I'll go ahead and tell you guys this. Rocky's name is not even really mentioned in the movie, man. They mention Rocky when they talk about the Apollo versus Rocky fight. Obviously, that took place in the original Rocky movie. That's about it. But there's really no mentions of Rocky Balboa. It's not like Adonis Creed thinks back or maybe even makes a phone call to Rocky or like, man, what would Rocky do in this moment? No, man, that you don't really hear a mention of Rocky Balboa in this movie. I understand at some point Creed was gonna have to move on and leave Rocky behind, man, and become Creed and do his own thing. I wish it was under better circumstances. I really do. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, man. It's just a big fallout between Sylvester Stallone and what's going on. But hey, man, everybody can go ahead and research that stuff and see what's going on. I don't want to get into it on this one. So, um, first thing in the story is basically, you guys have probably already heard this, is that Adonis Creed has had a successful career. He's had a very successful career defending his title, being the guy, being the man. And the movie pretty much starts, man, well, actually, the movie starts back in 2002. Yeah, that's the way the movie starts. Back in 2002, with these two gentlemen right here, Adonis and Damien, being childhood friends, going into the underground boxing world, where Damien is one of the top dogs and making feria. Now, I don't know if you guys have been around smoker fights. I have. I've gone to plenty of them. Back in the day, they're basically underground boxing venues, man, where there's a lot of gambling and betting going on, and it's cool to go to. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, it's not regulated, and there are some pretty bad things that happen at those things. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. Either way, that's kind of the way the movie starts. Then it fast forwards to Adonis Creed having his retirement fight against Tony Bellew. I don't know his name in the movie. He's an actual fighter, which I do want to get to in a bit. But he has his retirement fight. I believe they fast forward to 2017, I believe it was. That was when he retired. I may be wrong. Maybe it was 2019. I'm not really sure. Either way, he had been retired for quite a few years. He's living the life, man. He has his daughter. He has his wife. His daughter is actually deaf. If you guys go back with his lady having the hearing problem, his daughter is deaf, so they have to communicate with using nothing but sign language, which was very interesting. And I do like that they added that into the movie. I really do, man. I think it plays a pretty big role, Holmes. I think it really does, man. The daughter obviously does not talk. She doesn't say a word, right? But she is in the movie. It's not like she's just in a little piece of the movie and that's it. No, man, it's not like Rocky 4, where Rocky's son is just in a small little piece of the movie and that's it. No, it's a little bit more like Rocky 5, where his son is much more involved in the movie. in this case, his daughter, she is one of the main characters in the movie, and we'll get to her in just a bit. So all the communication had to be done with sign language. Um, so basically, man, his homeboy gets out after doing, I believe he said 18 years, and he wants a shot at the big times. He wants a shot at the title. He wants a shot. He's coming for everything, right? And he has no professional career, and he's looking at Creed to make that happen. He's looking at Adonis to make that happen, and Adonis is like, I can't make that happen. Adonis is basically just looking to get him some ring time, get him in there with one of their up and coming fighters, Felix Chavez, played by Benavides, and he that's not good enough for him. He's all like, hey, just get in there, man, and spar it up with him, man, and get some ring time. I'm gonna get you in there, and who knows, maybe we could get you a few professional fights. And Damien is like, look, maybe you didn't understand me, Holmes. I want a shot at the title. I'm running out of time. I'm an old man, and Adonis is like, I don't, I can't make that happen. And Damien is kind of reminding him of like, well, isn't that what your dad did for Rocky? Right? It's pretty far fetched, right? That this would happen, but ultimately, Drago's son, who fought Adonis in part 2, which I forgot his name. I really did. Drago. I'll just call him Drago because I forgot his first name. But it's going to be a fight between him and Felix Chavez, again played by Benavides, and that's supposed to be the big fight, and Drago gets hurt. So Damien, they're like, hey, you know what? We gotta keep our guy busy. We gotta keep Felix Chavez busy in this fight. So let's keep him busy and let's just have him fight. I'm sorry, over here, Damien, which again is very far fetched. Somebody that has no, not one professional fight, right? So I'm just kind of like, all right, hey, whatever, so be it, man. I would have kind of liked for them to have had him have at least, at the very least, Holmes, at the very least, 4 or 5 professional fights, Holmes, right? And have him look very, 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 very impressive. Um, he has he was a Golden Gloves champion in the movie, of course. He was a Golden Gloves champion, and he had a good amateur background. So, I was kind of scratching my head and saying, like, hey, why don't you guys just have him have, like 3, 4 fights, Holmes? And we're in a different era of boxing, dog. You can have a great amateur background and come into the to the pro ranks, and you could move up pretty damn quick, especially if you got somebody on your side like Adonis Creed, and you're very impressive in your professional fights, even if it is just 2, 3, 4 fights. I think of somebody like Vasily Lomachenko. There are quite a few fighters, man, that don't need a lot of professional fights to get a shot at the big time, especially if the opportunity presents itself, which in this movie it did. But to have no professional fights, you know what, kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. But nonetheless, man, it didn't ruin the story for me. He gets in there. He's I don't want to ruin too much for you guys, but obviously I'm sure this goes without saying. I'm sure you guys already know that he becomes the guy, right? He beats the guy. He uses some of his tactics and ends up becoming the guy. Adonis starts finding out that it was all in his plans. At the same time, over here. Damien does have a reason to have anger at Adonis. I'm not going to tell you guys why. You guys are going to have to wait to watch the movie to find that out, on why Damien has a legitimate, I don't know if I should say beef, but just bad taste in his mouth, man, knowing that these two guys were, camaradas, dog. And so he does have a reason, a legitimate reason on why he has this feeling towards Adonis. And yeah, as I said, you guys, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know, man. You guys know these guys are gonna fight. These guys are gonna throw down. It's kind of like the a little bit like the Rocky Five moment where it's like Tommy Gunn, right? He's turning his back on Rocky. Yet Rocky's the one that gave him the shot, gave him everything. A little bit something like that. So not exactly, but it goes somewhere along that storyline. And here we go, man. Adonis getting back, getting into the training, and they start treating Adonis almost like in the movie Rocky Balboa, where it's like, hey, Holmes, you're old. You have quite a few fractures, your fist, you've had quite a few concussions. So they can't train them the way they would usually train them. So they use some different tactics. But I do like the training montage for both of these guys. Jonathan Majors, who plays Damien, I just want to say this, man. Where did this guy come from? Because just like that, Holmes. This guy is in the movie Devotion, which is a very good movie. He's in the movie the new Ant-Man, which I have not seen. I don't know if I'll watch it or not. And he's in Creed 3. This guy's making a lot of waves in some calm waters, man. He just like sparked up out of nowhere, dog. At least to the best of my knowledge. Maybe he's been in a couple of other things that I haven't seen. But just like that, he's in a couple of big blockbuster movies. Devotion probably being one of the lesser of those, but a good movie nonetheless. So back to the movie. So that's basically the story. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you guys, what happens in the fight or anything like that. I will say this: they do change up the fight a little bit. It's something different from the rest of the Rocky movies or the rest of the Creed movies, especially going into round three, which at the end of the bell turns into round number 11. I don't know if I just spoiled something for you guys on that, but there's a change right there that I did like. I did not see coming. I did enjoy it. I'm like, okay, I get that. It gets me lost with just these two guys in there battling, man, for just the heart, right? The heart of the warrior, man, which is why I love boxing so much, man, is the modern day gladiator just going in there. And I do like what they did with that fight scene. Um, Other things about the movie, look, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with all the actual true boxers and or just in the boxing world, the actual true people that they had in there. They had Stitch Duran in there. Canelo Alvarez had a little cameo in there. You had Jimmy Lennon Jr. in there. You had referees Tony Weeks and Russell Mora. Terrence Crawford was in there. You had Showtime Boxing was advertised there. The Zone was there, man. I mean, I know I'm missing more because I remember being like, hey, man, this is pretty impressive. I like it. Todd Grisham, Jessica McCaskill was in there. Shoot, I didn't write any of this stuff down. I'm trying to think. Chris Mannix was in there. That and so many more, man. It was pretty impressive to watch, and it did make it seem a lot more real, a lot more realistic. Even though I just kind of trashed it a little bit for Damien's character to have no professional fights and get a shot at all the belts, right? They could have done a little bit better with that. They could have squeezed in a couple of fights here and there, man. But nonetheless, I liked it. It made it seem very authentic, man, with having all these characters from the real actual boxing world. So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Ultimately, what a good movie, especially after part two. Here's the thing: it's not that I didn't like part two, it's just the fact that part two took a step or two back from part one. Part one was really good. I really enjoyed part one. Part two, while it's good, outside of seeing the Russian Ivan Drago come back, played by Dolph Lundgren, to for Adonis to fight Ivan Drago's son, right? The dad who killed his dad. Uh, Outside of that, I don't think it was really that good of a movie, man. I don't think it was that good of a story. That's kind of what made it a good movie and a good story to me. But if you replace that with just somebody else, I don't think the story kind of holds too much weight. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Creed Part Two, but I really do think it took a few steps back from the first one. This one, on at least for me, you guys have your own opinions and your own thoughts whenever you guys watch it, or if you guys already seen it. At least this one for me, man, kind of stood off on its own, and it regained a little steps. Again, the first one without Rocky Balboa in it. Not only that, but just like I said in the beginning, I think his name gets mentioned twice. That is it. And it's nothing big, it's nothing major. It's just recalling the fight with him and Apollo Creed. Speaking on that, something that caught my eye that hasn't before. Um, Adonis Creed, man, right? They have done a really good job, and maybe he just really does look like him. I don't know. But the facial hair, the way he has his mustache, his little trim goatee, he looks a lot like Carl Weathers, man, when he was playing Apollo Creed. He really does. I was looking at it, and when Adonis is talking to his mom, and his mom is bringing up Apollo, I'm looking at Adonis, and I'm like, man, you really resemble Apollo Creed, man. It kind of took me in a time machine going back and watching the original Rocky movies, and I'm like, they I maybe he just really does kind of look like him, but his facial features and everything, especially like I said, the stash, just his little facial hair that he got going on, it really truly reminds me of Apollo Creed. So hey, man, whether they did that on purpose, whether they didn't, I don't know, Holmes, but it really it was something else. It really caught my eye. Um, there is a death in this movie. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and I'm not going to tell you how it happens, but there is a death in this movie, man. And it is a little bit heartbreaking. I should say it is somewhat of one of the main characters. Okay, it is some way. It is one of the main characters, kind of. This franchise, I believe, is going to take a turn. Um, will there be another? Will there be a Creed Part Four? Possibly. I think so. I think there's room for for one more Creed, and then after that, I think they're gonna turn it around, and they're gonna start make a spin-off of Creed into something else, because I don't know if I should throw this out there to you guys or not, but there's somebody else that's looking to have an interest in boxing. Maybe you guys are already connecting the dots on here, and it looks like that's going to start its own franchise, because they are taking an interest in boxing. So I think we're probably going to see another a Creed Part Four, and then after that, it's going to start turning into this other series of movies that I believe is going to end up happening. With that, I do want to say this, man. They have their final fight at Dodger Stadium. Now, to the best of my knowledge, for those who don't know, homie, I'm from LA. I'm from Los Homes. I'm a diehard Dodger fan. Okay, that is my favorite team in all the sports, Homes. But to the best of my knowledge, and I haven't done any research, I don't recall there ever being a fight at Dodger Stadium. Why did they choose Dodger Stadium? I really don't know. Maybe some of you guys know. Why didn't they choose, uh, shoot, they could have chose any other arena, Staples, or no, it's actually crypto.com now, the Forum, the Rose Bowl, I mean, if they want it outdoors, whatever it may be. But I'm so glad that they chose Dodger Stadium, because I would love to watch a fight at Dodger Stadium, man. I really would. I went to watch the fight with my son. I'm sorry, the fight. I went to watch the movie with my son. And at the end, we're just like, damn, Holmes, they need to. I really hope after this movie, I really truly hope that somebody in the boxing world picks up on this and has a fight at Dodger Stadium. Damn, that would be badass. I would be there. I don't even care who fights there. I would absolutely love to watch a fight at Dodger Stadium, man. That would be bad ass. Obviously, it's outdoors, so you can't have it. You gotta pick the time, the right season to have it because it is outdoors. But man, Holmes, just seeing it, seeing the layout, I get it. A lot of it was CGI. I understand that, but man, Holmes, it looked badass. It really did, man. And I'm just like, you know what? I really do hope they do that one day. To the best of my knowledge, I didn't look this up. They have not had a fight there. If I'm gonna really be honest, I think they may have had a fight there. I think I have heard something like that. I might be wrong. I don't know, but they don't have fights there. I really truly hope, man. I don't know what I can do, but I really want to push for them having a fight at Dodger Stadium. That would be badass. Like I said, I don't even care who fights there. I will be there. Ultimately, man, good movie. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you could critique it here and there, but I enjoyed it, man. It wasn't, I walked out of that theater saying like I didn't waste my money. It was good ultimately because my son paid for it. But I paid for the food, Holmes, and I spent like $60 in food there at the theater, man. Damn, dog, they gouge you. But no, it was definitely worth watching in the movie theaters. Oh, and we watched it in IMAX too, so got a nice better view of it. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. Does Rocky ever come back? I don't know, man. They're talking about possibly a Rocky Part 7. Let me know what you guys think about that. What do you guys think about Creed Part 3? Should there be a Creed Part 4? And if you guys watch the movie, you guys know what I'm talking about when the story continuing with somebody else that picks up on boxing. Are you guys excited for that? Not to say that that's what's going to happen, but I can definitely see that being a thing and that happening, man. What's your thoughts on that? That's my thoughts on Creed 3. I love the movie. Well, loved it. I really liked it. Well, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. I really enjoyed the story, man. Good stuff. Más movies and shows, and shouts to all the chingones on los tres chingones box. I'll catch you guys next time.